All right, UFC Benoit Saint Denis versus Hanato Moicano is happening this weekend, and this is my picks and predictions. Just to get off, right off the start here. I don't bet. I don't condone betting. I don't recommend you bet. I'm just making picks for fun because I like fighting. I like watching the UFC, and I like UFC fighters. I just like it. I'm addicted to it. What can I say? But with all that being said, don't bet. I'm serious. Don't bet. And I don't bet. Alright? Ruins lives. Alright? No, but you can bet if you want. I prefer not to bet personally. I think it's a waste of money. Anyways, we all know the judges have money on these fights. Moving on. Balaji Oki versus Chris Duncan. This one's kind of a hard one for me, but I'm leaning towards a Chris Duncan. I remember seeing this guy. He's got a good pace. He is coming off that loss to Manuel Torres, and as we now know, Manuel Torres has a terrible fucking chin. Chris Duncan doesn't look like he's a power striker anyways. But I think he's going to be able to get it done. Balaji Oki, I don't think... Yeah, it's been a little bit since we've seen him. Beating Timothy Kwamba, it is what it is. I remember seeing him... Yeah, he got that KO off, I think it was the Contender Series or something. I don't fucking remember. But, yeah, I'm going with Chris Duncan. I think Chris Duncan is going to have a redemption here. Beating, Ashmus. I know Ashmus sucks ass. But, I kind of like to see that. Chris Duncan's definitely a decision fighter. And it kind of seems like this Balaji Oki guy might also be a decision fighter. I'm sensing Chris Duncan's gonna be able to grind out a decision here. That's what's tingling on my ginger hairs. But moving on, we got Nora Cornolo versus Jacqueline Calva. Yeah. So we're gonna flip the Lego piece, and if it lands studs up, as you know, it goes Nora Cornoli, and if it goes studs down, it looks like we're going Jacqueline, and it landed studs down. So we're going Jacqueline. So Jacqueline wins 29-28. Obviously, we all know this. Moving on, we got Daniel Barres versus Victor Altamirano. Now, I think Daniel Barres is in his later half of his career, losing to Felipe Dos Santos. This fight was really close. I think arguably you could say Victor won that. So I kind of rate that pretty high. The problem with Daniel Barres, losing to Fialio last year. Yeah, that's not good. That's really bad. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with Victor. I think Victor is a little bit more dangerous. We saw with that Felipe Dos Santos fight, a lot of people overrate Felipe Dos Santos. I still don't think he's that good of a fighter. And I think Victor Altamirano won that fight from, memory and just looking at stats. So, my personal opinion, I think Victor gets it done. Probably been a while. I could see a submission, but I'm leaning like another decision. So we're looking at a lot of decisions here so far. Daria, yeah, Russian lady, I think. It's got an ov in the name, Ova. Versus Aylin Perez. Now, if I don't misremember here, just beat Jocelyn Edwards, right? So we got the Studs of Truth. Oh, fuck. Alright, landed studs up. So we got Daria, the Russians, getting it done. Nice 29-28 split decision, beat Randon. That's pretty nice, so I'm feeling pretty confident. So yeah, Russian lady gets it done. Moving on, we got Taylor Lapilos versus Vince Morales. Now, if I remember correctly, we won. Cody Stamen, eh? Was it convincing? Yeah. Okay. Lost to Fareed, and now we know Fareed is not all that, eh? Okay. Vince Morales. Oh, not fighting. Ooh. Lost to Jonathan Martinez. I'm gonna go with Taylor. I think he's just got a little bit more recency. Vince seems like he might be out due to injuries or something going on. It doesn't look like he's fighting that often, and he's kind of getting slightly older. So I'm thinking Taylor Lapilus wins. If I remember correctly, he's double impact, eh? Yeah, I was gonna say, I remember him getting a submission, I believe, right? Yeah, this guy's got a lot of, Callan Lochran. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think this guy, oh no, he's KO. Who the fuck am I thinking of got a submission? Oh well. So I'm going with Taylor. Taylor seems more solid, more well-rounded from memory. And then Vince just seems like, I don't know, something's going on with Vince. You know, no activity, and you're in 32, 33. I'm sensing something's wrong, you know? So I think he's just trying to get a paycheck here with this. So I'm going with Taylor Lapilus. Moving on, Ludovic Klein versus Roosevelt Roberts. I'm going with Ludovic Klein. I think Ludovic Klein is the guy I'm thinking of. Yeah, beating Thiago Moises, that was pretty impressive. I actually rate Thiago Moises pretty high. We now know who Ignacio Bahamondes is, and, you know, Ludovic Klein made that look easy. I think Ludovic Klein's on a tear, and he's going to continue on his tear. He's probably the heavy favorite, probably the most, the highest favorite on the card. That's what I'm guessing. But yeah, Ludovic Klein, I think that's the obvious pick, you know. Moving on, we got Umar Sai versus Jung Da-un. Umar Sai, eh? Round 1 against a no-name. A canceled bout. Interesting. Against Bellado, eh? What am I seeing here? What am I seeing? 10 wins. 1 UFC fight. Hugo Tacos. I'm just gonna go with Umar Sai. He's got a 0. I mean, most fighters nowadays, like, you just go with them until they don't have that 0. Not Tuco Tacos. Who's the next fucking Jung Da-un? Now, I'm pretty sure this guy just doesn't fight often, and he's losing. Yeah. Eesh. Losing Devin Clark, and, oh, yeah. He's done. He's done. If you're losing to Dustin Jacoby, you're done. Dustin Jacoby just doesn't have it in him anymore. So I'm going to go with Umar Sai. I think he can get it done. Probably by finish. I'm thinking maybe a submission, just because I saw Jung Da-un lose to submission. So, you know, I'm not seeing great ground game. I'm thinking he's a little over the hill. How old is he? Oh, shit. 30? Damn. Yikes. I don't know. I think Umar Sai is probably going to get it done. I'm not going to dwell too much on it. Jan Kutalaba against Ivan Ursian. Jan Kutalaba is one of the lowest IQs I've seen in the UFC. Comparable to, you know, the likes of Merab. Comparable to Dustin Jacoby. Comparable to... I don't know. Yeah, because he lost to Felipe, or whatever his name is. Yeah, Felipe Lins. Oh, man, he's just so shit. I'm just remembering that fight off the top of my head. Jesus Christ. Letting Felipe Lins win this fight is... Not even Felipe Lins' teammates thought he was going to win that. And Jan Kutalaba somehow made it to decision with the 44-year-old man. So, Jan Kutalaba, I don't care who he fights. I think this is his last fight. I think he's going to lose to Ivan Ursian. Jan Kutalaba just has no hunger in him. I think I think he wants to present it and, like, hype himself up for it, but he's got no hunger. You know, at the end of the day, that's kind of what matters when you're going for knockouts. I do think Jan Kutalaba actually does have power. I just think he doesn't have that killer instinct in him. So moving on, mid card time, we got Faraz Ziam versus Steamroller Frevola. Now, I'm going with... Who did you just fight? Claudio Puellas, eh? Jai Herbert sucks, though, to be fair. Big Lack's not terrible. He lost to Terrence McKinney. You know what? I'm going Matt Frevola. I'm riding with the Ginger Brethren. Of course, I'm biased. He's Ginger. He took the time he needed off after losing to Benoit Saint-Denis. He definitely needed time off. However, his chin is very, very questionable. I think Frivola could probably grind out a decision here. I know his cardio is somewhat questionable to a lot of people. I don't think he really needs it because a lot of people don't put that big of a pace on him. Of course, Benoit Saint Denis is because he's a legit assassin. Spec Ops, French fucking firefighter, like whatever, superhero dude. And when he doesn't have staph infection, he's almost fucking unbeatable. But I think Steamroller Frivola is probably going to get it done. Probably a decision. I don't think Faris Ziam is... I don't know. I could see him probably getting submitted in the early rounds, like maybe around 1. But I think after round 1, I think it's going to be Frivola by decision. Moving on, we got Morgan Charrier versus Gabriel Miranda. Who did you just fight? Oh, this is the fight where... Was this the one that everyone thought he won? Interesting. I'm gonna go with Morgan. I thought it was close with Chepe. I don't think he won against Chepe. But I actually rate Chepe pretty highly, even though Chepe got that vicious knockout, or got knocked out viciously. I think Morgan is pretty good. I could probably see him getting a nice... What are we seeing here? What are we seeing? Shane Young? Who cares? Yeah, I think Morgan Charrier is probably going to get a nice, comfortable 30-27 decision. I just think Morgan Charrier is, like, he can bring it, you know? And I feel like Gabriel Miranda... I don't know. I'm not really seeing crazy skill from Gabriel Miranda. You know what I mean? Like... yeah. No knockdowns. Yeah. Yeah, it was just, oh yeah, it was like a minute submission, right. But yeah. No, I just think that was probably one of those fluky things. I mean, he beat a guy who's like fairly unexperienced. I think Morgan Charrier is pretty experienced, and I think the experience is gonna like matter a lot here. But moving on, we got Kevin Jousset versus Brian Battle. Going Brian Battle. I don't not like Kevin Jousset. I think Kevin Jousset is fairly good. But I can't go against Brian Battle. I told myself after... What fight was it? After the AJ Fletcher, I said I'm never going against Brian Battle. It would have been an easy win from Brian Battle against Angelusa. Angelusa, I think, is on a technical standpoint good. And if Brian Battle's outclassing him, I don't see... He made literally Angelusa look like a pussy-ass bitch. Not only because he got eye-poked and was like, what can you do? But also, Brian Battle just kind of was mopping the floor with him on the feet. And you rarely see Angelusa take that bad of a beating. So, I'm going to go with Brian Battle against Kevin Jousset. Nothing against Kevin Jousset. I think he's a solid fighter. I just think Brian Battle is like +1 on every stat more than Kevin Jousset. So I'm very interested to see what happens. Going Brian Battle. I think I'm leaning towards a decision, but we'll see. William Gomes versus Joe Anderson Brito. I think William Gomes sucks. I think Joe Anderson Brito is him. I think William Gomes is probably going to get chinned within the first round. I just see William Gomes shooting like a sloppy takedown. This is the guy I'm thinking of, right? Wow. Bro does not fight. Yeah, he was supposed to fight Gene Silva, too. Beating Giannis means nothing. Beating Francis means nothing. Yeah, I just see... Yeah, it is the guy I'm thinking of. William Gomez, I think... Or Gomes, however you want to say. I think he's going to shoot a sloppy takedown. I think he's going to get punished for it. Either knee up the middle or like a hook. And he's just going to... You're just going to see a corpse on the canvas. So, I think that fight will be pretty entertaining. Joe Anderson Brito is my pick. By finish. Round 1 to maybe 3 if William Gomez gets tired. I'm not seeing crazy cardio from him either in his fights. Moving on, we got Nasruddin Imavov versus Brendan Allen. Going Brendan Allen. I think Nasruddin Imavov sucks. I think he's shit. I actually think Nasruddin Imavov is one of the most overranked fighters right now in the UFC. There's nothing that he does that, in my opinion, looks good at all. He's got no, like, hunger in him, which is... if the ref didn't call that early stoppage where Jared Cannonier was wobbled, I think Amavov would have never found the finish. That's my personal take. I don't think he has it in him. I don't think he has that like killer instinct. I think Amavov is very easy to quit, and he only continues a fight whenever he gets like a big moment. So like a wobbling, or when like a takedown happens or something, like against a Dolidze. But I think Amavov is a quitter. I think he's shit. I think he's sloppy. I think he gets tired too fast. Brendan Allen coming off that close decision against Chris Curtis. I rate Chris Curtis very highly. I think Brendan Allen just slightly edged it. My personal opinion. I think it's fair. I think Brendan Allen is a nice, overall well-rounded fighter, and now it seems like he's getting a much better chin. He's not getting KO'd in round one. So I think Brendan Allen's going to win this. I think there's going to be a moment. I think what will happen is that round two, I think round one will be Brendan Allen edged. I think round two, Amavov will have a big moment, and I think he's going to quit in round three, and you're going to see Brendan Allen just beat the shit out of him. So probably decision Brendan Allen. Moving on, Renato Moicano versus Benoit Saint Denis. This is the hot topic, I'd say. Now, I understand both sides, you know? However, I have to go with Benoit Saint Denis. I told myself I'm not picking against Benoit Saint Denis unless he fights like one of my top 3 lightweight picks, being either number 1, if he fought Dan Hooker, I'm not picking Benoit in that matchup. Number 2 would be the champ, and then number 3 would be Dustin Poirier. Match with Dustin Poirier, he got knocked out. But I think a lot of people are forgetting Benoit Saint Denis was beating the absolute shit out of Dustin Poirier. Listen, I love Dustin Poirier. I'll fucking, you know, he was about to win that fight against Makhachev before he got finished, But, listen, not only was Benoit beating the absolute shit, Benoit looked better than, this is what I'll say, Benoit looked better against Poirier than anybody else in the past, like, 3 years. Other than, not even Justin Gaethje, because Justin Gaethje lost that first round. So I think Benoit, if we're not including, like, the finishing round, of course, like, round 5 Makhachev, round 2 Justin Gaethje, I think Benoit has done the best against Poirier compared to everyone else. Now, this is caveated because Dustin Poirier felt like he was worried about being knocked out again because he was coming off a knockout, and that's why he wasn't really throwing hands and why he lost like 2 rounds. I think he got, I think Dustin Poirier got the finish in round 3. Might have been 2. But that's what I think personally happened. It just seemed like Dustin Poirier didn't really want to throw hands. So I don't really rate that as like Benoit's better than everyone Poirier has fought. But then moving on from that, in the past, like, honestly, like 3-4 years, I think Benoit's looked better against Poirier than, the finishing round against everybody else. Even against fucking Charles Oliveira, Poirier knocked him down and everything and was winning that fight before submitted. So before the finishing round, Poirier normally looks good. In this fight against Benoit, he got his ass kicked, and then he came back with that finish. Benoit looked very off that fight as well. I don't even think that was, like, prime Benoit, not only because of the staph infection, which a lot of people, I guess, are forgetting, but I think Benoit just had he was just lazy. He had his hands down, he was shooting like a sloppy takedown, like, it looked not like Benoit, if that makes sense. Like, it didn't look like Benoit was fighting that fight. It looked like a completely different person was. And based off that, I can't go off of Benoit's last fight. Most fighters are only good as their last fight. I can't take Benoit from that, so I'm taking Benoit from every other fight. And I just see a killer assassin who, like, is perfect almost everywhere, doesn't make a mistake. And if I'm looking at that Benoit Saint Denis, the one that fought Ishmael Bonfim, the one that fought, did he fight Terrence McKinney as well? There's no way he fought. Am I remembering that right? He head kicked for Vola. Don't want to remember that. I forgot about the Thiago Moises. Knocked his ass out. Oh, I think it might be Gabriel Miranda I'm thinking of, not Ishmael. Yeah, not Ishmael. That's my bad. My bad. Wrong fighter. but the KO on Miranda. This guy's like, he doesn't cut corners. Like, in his normal fights, other than his Poirier fight, he does not cut corners. Hands are high. He's clean with his boxing. He's got power in his hands. He's got the submission threat. He's young. Like, this guy's got fucking everything. I love MOICANO. You know, show me the fucking money, motherfucker. You know, I love MOICANO. I can't pick MOICANO in this fight. MOICANO's biggest issue is his questionable chin and his needing to sort of initiate a stand-up fight in order to get a takedown going and everything. If we're talking about if this was a jiu-jitsu match, I'm picking Renato MOICANO. But I just think Benoit's got the well-roundedness to push off that grappling and really get into the striking. And I think this is where MOICANO gets, like, knocked out. Because, listen, again, no offense to MOICANO, in his last fight, any other fighter other than Jalen Turner who knocks MOICANO like that, either A, it's a 50-50 if the ref is going to call the fight just there, or B, the other 50 of it, all Jalen Turner needed to do was walk up to him. I guarantee you if he took a step towards MOICANO and loaded up a strike, fight's called. Guarantee it. You know, we saw it with Fiziev. They're not afraid to do it. And I think we all know that. So I'm picking Benoit. I think Benoit is like, I think a lot of people are going to start betting on MOICANO because MOICANO is so dangerous on the ground. But I'm sorry, man. It's just, Benoit is a fucking assassin. Other than his last fight, which he was doing better against Poirier than any other fighter in the past, like, 4 or 5 fucking years. Alright? Until he got knocked out. Until he got knocked out with staph infection. Benoit is just, he cuts all the corners. Or sorry, he doesn't cut any corners. And he's just clean with everything. So, I think Benoit gets it done. I think he probably gets it done by finish. I'm guessing... No, I'm not going to guess. The way I see the fight probably playing out is Renato's going to get wobbled pretty bad in the first. And it's going to be like, oh shit, you know, don't worry. He's got the grappling going. Round's going to end. Round 2 starts up. You know, it's going to be on the feet. And it's almost going to be exactly like what happened with Jalen Turner and Rafael Fiziev. He's going to get knocked down. But I think this time, it's just like, you know, you only get so many freebies like that. I think this time, it's out cold. I think it's like, corpse on the floor, you know? And the way he talks about this fight, he's so confident and everything. And I feel like that everyone I've ever seen fight Benoit, I know it's a fighter thing. Everyone I've seen, like, do the same sort of, like, Frivola did it. Everyone's like, you know, I think we got the game plan. I think we got this guy figured out. Then they get knocked out, you know? And that's what I'm saying. You know, the only time it didn't happen is, again, when he went Dustin Poirier. So, picking Benoit Saint Denis. Benoit Saint Denis young. He's more well-rounded. He's got the power, and Renato's MOICANO's biggest weakness is the power. Now, I'm rooting for MOICANO. I want MOICANO to win. I can't pick him only because I think Benoit is just better overall. And it's just like, you know, he's fire and MOICANO's got fucking an ice head. You know what I mean? And, yeah, it's just dangerous guy to be in a cage with, especially if you're underestimating him. But, yeah, that's all my picks. That's UFC Fight Night, MOICANO versus Benoit Saint Denis. Those are my picks and predictions. You're free to bet if you want. I don't condone betting. I don't think you should bet. However, you can live your life as you choose. I am not betting this entire card. I'm not gonna fucking waste money or whatever. But yeah, with all that being said, I want to thank you for making it to the end of the video. You know, and as always, I hope you have a good day.